Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 672 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I have no friends, at least no friends here in Austin, Texas. I am joined today by, throwing up the L sign like a true sixth grader, JD Raider, Ben Funky Askren, also a loser, and David Dylan Duncan Bray with the whatever sign. And we have now entered an episode, the movie Clueless. But hey, we got it better late than never, I say, with this setup, because it looks sharp. I want to join the Marines now. It might be too late, but if you're not watching on the video, you can't see that JD, Ben, and Bray are here at Fargo. How's it going, boys?
Good. It's good. I'm personally pretty exhausted. This is day 4. Day 1 and 2 were just totally insane. Day 3 was a little lighter. They expanded the field bigger than ever this year, and so it was like nonstop. Saturday and Sunday were like nonstop, morning to night.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, this is my first time covering this event, and it is like just from whistle to whistle, like beginning of the day to the end. It's insane. We had a big board matchup, and they're at a 256 in junior 145. Robert Avila, Cal Miller. That was like one of the first matches of the entire tournament for juniors, and the action gets crazier after that.
Totally crazy. And all the while, we've got Fargo going on. It's just like high school wrestling is like at the forefront of our minds here, because we've got the Cadet Worlds are going on. Team USA doing pretty dang good. They're currently in first place after the morning session here. We've got 4 in the finals already. We've got, I think, 2 wrestling in the semis later this morning, I guess we'll call it. How much of the Cadet Worlds have you guys been able to watch? I'm ready to go wild on this Levi Haynes grounded call. Maybe it's just me. I haven't seen a lot of Twitter talk about it, but it broke my brain.
I've watched 0, Christian. I mean, one day JD and I were talking about it. We had 8 a.m. start to wrestling on Sunday. We didn't get out of the building till after 9 p.m., and then the juniors had to make weight again at 7 a.m. So I was in the parking lot cutting weight with the guys till like 11:30 p.m. that night. I mean, we were, woke up at 6:30, so we're talking, 6:30 to 11:30. No real breaks at all there. Man, yeah, wild.
I've been able to pay attention a little bit and I watched the quarterfinal round yesterday. That was just about it. And then, little bits here and there. But to follow results, yeah, Team USA is looking awesome. But the Levi Haynes thing is egregious. It's crazy.
Yeah, really bad ground call. I don't know if we even have that clip because I put it in super late in the show because I didn't watch it till 45 minutes to an hour ago. But it's really bad, and it would have been a huge win for us. But as it stands right now, we've got a couple finalists. Luke Lillidahl, who wrestled with great heart, had a couple comeback wins, had a buzzer beater. Meyer Shapiro has looked fantastic. I mean, this guy is just super, super good. For us, for me at least, he was the most impressive guy at Cadet Trials, and he follows that up with a great run here at Cadet Worlds. James Rowley also in the finals. He's looked really strong as well. Who's the other one? There's a fourth I'm missing right now.
Big Jim Mullen, baby.
Big
Jim Mullen.
Ben Askren's brethren in hair, he's looked fantastic as well. Yes. And then we've got Bo Bassett in the semis, as well as Nelson.
Kevin Nelson.
Yeah. Yes. So
Jezeroga and Bowman could still get pulled back in, but not Levi Haynes. He's out.
Yeah, Haynes is out. Jezeroga wrestled a guy that looked like 15 pounds bigger than him. This from Uzbekistan. This dude looked massive. Like he had a violent pull down. And speaking of violent pulls, what is going on with the weight cutting at Fargo? We're having guys missing weight in mass. What is happening,
I just told you about it, Christian. We didn't get out of the damn building till 9:30, and the weigh-ins were the next morning at 7 a.m. Do you realize how brutal that is for guys to have to turn around and make weight? We're talking 9.5 hours after they're done competing. I mean, it was kind of a fail in the scheduling, and I realized that the USA Wrestling had a tough call because there was more participants than there's ever been here. But they pushed the cadets. The cadets' second day weigh-in was pushed back till 1 p.m. Not for the juniors. The juniors had to make weight at 7 a.m. after getting out here at 9:30. And some of them dudes probably they couldn't deal with it. They broke. And like I said, I know. I think our last guy I was with went to bed at 11:30. he was actually still a little bit over, and he had to wake up at like 5:45 to make weight. It was brutal.
But here's
Not good.
Here's the part about it that's insane to me is if you look at Junior 106 on the front side of the bracket, we're not talking about guys that lost a match and their dream was over and they didn't, they couldn't come back and cut the weight. On the front side of the bracket in the round of 16, there were only 3 out of 8 matches contested. There were forfeits in 5 of the 8 round of 16 matches at 106. Maybe 1 or 2 of those were injury, but I would imagine they're probably mostly due to weight cut. That's insane.
Yeah, juniors at 106. What do you think's going on there? Well, is it a fail in the scheduling, or are kids cutting too much weight?
Well, here's the deal. For this tournament, you guys know how anti-weight cutting I am. This tournament, you got to cut weight. Right? It's a summer tournament. You probably haven't wrestled for a couple months. Everyone else is going to be cutting weight. You got to make weight twice. You got to cut some weight. And I know the hard part for my little guys, because the one guy I stayed up with late, little guys don't sweat as much. Us big guys, I'll sweat 6 pounds in an hour. No big deal,
Yeah.
But these little guys, they're pushing, 2 pounds an hour or something like that. It's really, really hard for them. And I didn't even have anyone as small as 106. So, maybe these guys just couldn't get it off. That's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, but to me, isn't that the point? Yeah, that's right. I get it. They can't cut the weight. Smaller people have a harder time cutting weight, so don't go 106. Go 113, right?
Yeah, I agree, but I mean, especially with the junior 100. Junior 100 I think should be kind of eliminated because it's just all these cadets bumping up. Junior 106 is also really small, but people see the advantage of being able to place at those weight classes. Once you get up to junior 113 and junior 120, it's a bloodbath, right? So they can get a little smaller. They have a much larger chance at doing well, and I think that's what they're seeing.
I do think the format of the weigh-ins it's really bizarre because the first weigh-in is day before in like late afternoon, evening. So these guys have all day to get the weight down, and that's their only focus is get my weight where it needs to be. The second one, like Ben said, it is early morning after you've already competed all day or at least been in the building all day. It's a lot harder to hold weight overnight for these kids. Like, being disciplined and being hungry, going to sleep and all that, they're not probably used to that. So it's
but the other thing, Bray, we tell all of our guys, and we didn't have anyone miss weight, don't worry. You weigh in day one. If you're worried about your weight, we're going to be pissed at you because wrestling is number one. Get through day one, then worry about cutting your weight. Like, we will help you. I will stay. You don't have to cut weight if you don't make it to day 2. I will stay up with you to help you make weight if you need to. But you can't worry about your weight. You got to get the fluids in you. You got to eat. And then we're going to worry about the weight cutting afterwards. That's how it's going to be. If wrestling has weight classes, people are going to cut weight, especially a tournament like this where, you have to make weight, but you don't have to make weight after this for 2 months, before this for 2 months. It's not like a high school season where you're making it, 20 times over the course of 3 months. It's once in the summer. And then the other hard part about it, I guess I would say is, I know this happened with a couple of our guys, is they've committed to wrestling a weight class, say at a freestyle state tournament, and then all of a sudden they hit a growth spurt. And they're locked into that weight class because, like, Wisconsin, our lineups were filled. They couldn't go up or down. So it's like, oh shoot, I really grew a whole bunch, and now I got to get back down. That's an issue. That
commitment is hard for those kids to break. When you see guys do it, though, it's kind of refreshing. Aidan Valencia is a guy. We saw him at the Dells in Wisconsin cadet trials. He made the Greco team at 48 kilos, which is a little bit under 106. Made the cadet Greco team, but then was growing, and he just decided not to go compete. Right? He's here. He wrestled in the finals yesterday at 120.
Yeah,
way up from where he was. He's still competing at a high level, and that's a kid who showed do what's best for your body. What would have been the point of him holding 106 all summer? And probably having a poor performance in Budapest. Instead, come to Fargo and prove at a tougher weight 120 that you can make the finals. That's impressive to me.
Yeah, with this tournament, I see what they're with the second day weigh-in. They're really trying to prevent very large, massive cuts because people will have to get down the second time. But it's not really doing it because people are saying, I'm going to make that sacrifice the night after. It just so happened that the sessions ran so close together. It was really, really challenging. It adds a whole lot of extra work for everyone involved. I'm totally down for a one weigh-in thing at Fargo, and I'm anti-weight cutting. But let's do one weigh-in. Let's get it out of the way. Let's not have anyone worry about it. It adds so much time to the coaches. Obviously, they got to run the second weigh-in. The athletes are cutting weight at night. That's not healthy for them. I mean, a lot of these dudes, I was watching them. They're out running around parking lots trying to make weight. It sucks. So I'm down to go to one weigh-in. I think it's probably the best-case scenario.
All right, let's talk a little wrestling. What's been going on? What are the biggest storylines as you guys have seen it? We had the Cadet Freestyle Finals yesterday, some great matches. We had some upsets in the junior field as well. Talk about Bray, JD, Ben, some of the biggest highlights for you guys.
I just love being back here. Fargo is such an iconic thing for wrestling, and we obviously missed it last year. Just being back here and all these wrestling people being together. It's been an awesome tournament. There's so much, especially like we get in the later rounds and like down over there, the stage almost takes away a little bit because when everyone crowds like around like mat 10, 11 or whatever, or mat 17, and it's just packed and there's college coaches and people are going nuts over every point that's scored. Like, I mean, the biggest one was the Gibson Larkin match.
Yeah.
It's just like such a fun atmosphere and just so much wrestling. I love being here.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of that, the atmosphere, I was really impressed yesterday with 16U finals. The crowd, I mean, obviously,
the crowd was good.
Yeah, you're not going to fill up the Fargo Dome, but the sections that you can see behind us, behind the stage, like all the way to the ceiling, were full of fans, and people were into it. People were super into those matches. So, yeah, the atmosphere. I mean, I competed here back in 2002, and there were not this many people. Obviously, the
I
tournament
feel
was
like there's
small.
never been this many people.
No,
ever.
It was a really, really good
And
environment.
one of the things that I don't ever remember, and maybe I'm misremembering, but I think it might have been the Larkin Gibson match, but it happened other times. I know it's happened with Matt Bianchi and one of the matches I was watching, where they get one turn, the crowd goes, oh, and then it's like 2 seconds, oh, and they're like cheering for every turn.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny when that happens.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I mean, the finals yesterday were super fun. My favorite final of all of them was 138 with Tyler Kasich and Joel Adams. It was just like we knew it was going to be this clash of styles. Kasich's super fundamental. He's really good folk styler. And Adams has those freestyle tricks and the power. And, like, that's how the match bore out. It came down to the wire. And, man, Adams got it done. And, last second got the turn. It was outstanding.
So Adams DMP'd at Cadet Trials, is that right?
I didn't look at that. That's
tweeted
surprising.
about it, actually.
He what?
He tweeted about it. He said, I went from
Wow.
JP
Wow.
Cadet Trials to Fargo champ. Now, that's not to say he wasn't a top gun country. I believe David Bray actually picked him to win. So
I did pick him to win.
Nice. Props to you.
Boom.
Bray.
Pound it.
Yeah.
It's like you know a thing or two about high school wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know who he lost to, but obviously the UWW Trials is kind of random draw sometimes. So maybe he hit someone really hard early, and then someone else hard got knocked to the backside. I'm not sure. There's the tweet right there.
He was also up at 65 kilos too, which is a little bigger.
That's a little. I mean, yeah, because there's only at cadets. It's 132, 143. He was wrestling 138 yesterday.
Yeah.
Big difference.
He lost to Skellinger.
Oh, JD taught me something, how to look up results on USA Wrestling's database.
Nice.
Uh-oh.
Love all the learnings. Okay,
Oh,
so we had
Chris
some
Moore, he's good.
We had some huge upsets. We haven't even talked about the big upsets yet. Nick Bouzakis lost. He lost yesterday.
Oh.
That was a shocking loss. And the way it was sort of a weird match. The way the points sort of materialized for Isaguirre in that match. I did not expect it. But thoughts on that match? Thoughts on the performance? What does this mean for the rankings? What does this mean for Nick and Isaguirre? How does this shake things up in the high school wrestling scene?
I mean, dude, Emilio Isaguirre is a guy that we saw beat Jordan Titus at Super 32, but then he didn't place. So you knew he had this kind of like potential to do really, really well. But his path has been really amazing. He beat Garrett Grice in the semis, which was outstanding. He beat Nick Bouzakis. He beat Hunter Mason. Those are 3 wins in a row that are going to have him like climbing the rankings in a big, big way. The thing about Bouzakis is he has such a solid resume for so long that he's not going to fall far. I haven't looked really specifically about exactly where he's going to go, but he's not going to fall too far. But the 132 bracket is really strange. Nobody probably would have predicted Isaguirre to come out of that top side. And Nasir Bailey, I don't think anybody would have predicted him to come out of the bottom side. He beat Zeke Seltzer in the semis. You would have picked a Seltzer Buzakis final probably, but instead we've got Nasir Bailey really overperforming, wrestled really amazing, and Isagire. So the rankings are going to be totally jumbled after this.
Yes. Now Buzakis, he's continued to win, so he can still wrestle back for third, right? He's actually in the third
he's
place
actually in the
match.
third place match. Yeah.
Yep.
There's no more junior bouts except the place matches right now. They went all the way yesterday.
Whew, that's a banger of a day there.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoops, I got a commercial going. Other upsets. Robinson takes out Dean Peterson, and Vincent Robinson, he was somewhat a bit of an unknown to me. He looked absolutely filthy, but then he got 10-0'd by Drake Ayala.
Well, you remember Vincent Robinson had that really competitive match with Ayala at Super 32 last year. That was kind of where I first saw him. Then I've seen him a few other times since then. He's really good, but then Peterson, he ended up injury defaulting on the backside, so he doesn't place. But yeah, part of the seeding criteria was really bad where there was no tournaments last year, so it made almost no one seeded for this year. So there were some totally insane matches, like you said, round of 256 or round of 128, which is crazy.
Yeah, Vincent Robinson, he's super good. He's a top 10, 12 kind of guy. But yeah, he hadn't had the opportunity to have an event like this. Not only did he knock off Dean Peterson, but he also beat Cornell commit Nico Provo in the round of 16. He lost to Gabe Wisenhunt on the backside, but part of the reason I think people aren't as familiar with him is at junior duels, he had an opportunity to get some really good wins like on this level, but he got disqualified in a match that got super physical. Both guys were kind of like taking swings at each other, so he got DQ'd and like he was out of the tournament after that. He won all his matches before that though, so he's amazing. Harvey Twister guy, and he's one of those guys too that's like he's a hype man for Team Illinois. He's in the corner with a bunch of these guys and help warming them up. I've seen him like get kicked out of the corner a few times because he just can't help like getting fired up and get on the mat. But yeah, I like him a lot.
Okay,
hey guys, I gotta run. I gotta coach girls this morning. We got one girl, Brooke, in, so I'm out of here. And then I'll miss tomorrow morning, but I will be back on Thursday with you guys. So I'm out of here. You can scoot closer because it's so hard to hear. You can be right up here on him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. That's adorable.
All right.
See you, Ben.
Thanks,
You.
Christian. See ya.
Yeah, buddy. Okay. All right. Can we talk about this Webster Flynn finish here? Because what the heck is this? They
Man. It was really weird to watch. Like, it seemed to me like, and you're watching it there with about, I can't see the screen really well, but it's less than 30 seconds left. I think all of a sudden the mat official gets really frustrated. You can see it right here, and he offers caution in one. But the problem is, well, this is the one with 4 seconds left, but about 25, 30 seconds left in the match, the official gets just like really frustrated with Cooper Flynn. He offers caution in one, and the judge and chair have to tell him, like, you can't do that. You can't give caution in one like that immediately. You haven't given it attention. He's not backing out of bounds, and so they take that caution in one off the board. But you could tell like he had those intentions. So then Cannon Webster knows all he has to do is come forward, dig underhooks, and run forward, and I mean, so that's what he's doing. Webster's not changing levels. He's not attacking legs. He's not doing those things. Cooper Flynn, though, he's defending. He's circling, staying in bounds. They give the caution in one at the end with 4 seconds left, reviewed it, and they upheld it. So, I don't know. I was really surprised to see the match end that way. Webster did a great job at coming forward and trying to push the pace, but I thought Flynn did a good job trying to defend and stay in bounds. So I didn't like the call, but I don't know. That's why they did it.
And it's like, what's Flynn supposed to do? You're gonna back up a little bit when your option is either dive in on a leg. When Webster is coming at you that hard, it's not like he put the running shoes on and just backpedaled.
I mean, they're literally in contact. They're in contact the whole time. He's not like backing away and avoiding contact. He's got Webster has double underhooks on him. That's a wrestling position. I just don't think that's just an over involvement in my opinion. I don't think you can. That's such a high level match with real implications. I don't think you can just say. I mean, basically, at that point, you were declaring a winner, right? You're just saying, Webster, you get to win this. To me, that's just outside, and I didn't think there was an attention. I went and rewatched, and I think you alluded to this. I think you have to hit Flynn for attention, and I understand that in the last 30 seconds, you can't put a guy on the clock. Like, that's the normal mechanism that officials have, and you don't have that. But to just, I don't think you would see this at a, I don't think that's how cautions are supposed to be utilized. I don't think that's the instance in which cautions are supposed to be utilized.
No, I agree with you. I was calling the match, and I was pretty surprised, like pretty baffled about it. And there was an attention, but it was not an on the mat attention. It was an attention after the guy tried to give caution and won. They'd said that the judge and chairs like no, you can't do that. It's an attention. So bizarre.
JD, do you know when cautions have to be unanimous, or is that even a rule still anymore?
It has to be 2 out of 3.
Well, yeah. I thought there was an instance, Nomad would know, where like caution, maybe it's in a different scenario where something has to be unanimous, but maybe that doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, so that was a weird one. But you know what? It was 2-2 at that point anyway, so it's not like Cooper was like just a huge like favorite, right? At that, or like had really separated himself. It was 2-2. So, what happens. What else stuck out to you guys? What are the big storylines? What's the word on the floor?
I mean, I think people are talking a lot about the outstanding wrestler from 16U, and that was at 126. The big upset came in the semifinals. That was Kyler Larkin. He beat Mason Gibson in a match that was super tight until the end, and then all of a sudden Larkin got a takedown, got to a lace, and then he was able to actually tech Mason Gibson at the end of the match. But Kyler Larkin's been kind of the talk of 16U, and he is part of an Arizona team that I think has like really overperformed where a lot of people expected them to.
Both 16U and junior.
Yeah, they look outstanding. So Kyler Larkin, kind of the guy, and you got the clip right here. He got to that takedown, gets that lace going, and this is one of those situations Ben was talking about with the crowd where every time the turn goes, people were just like fired up, and you could see all the coaches around the corner, all the athletes around the edge of the mat. It was just a really awesome environment.
Like Larkin was a guy on the radar going into this, but definitely not a guy or a guy most people were not picking to win, and definitely not a guy to win OW of this entire event. So we're talking about guys that increased their stock here. He is definitely on the top of that list.
Yes, like he was at Spartan Duels, had a good performance, took a loss to Andre Gonzalez, who's a top 10-ish guy. Like that's kind of where you thought he was. Like he's gonna be in matches with top 10 guys. He's gonna eventually get there, but he's there.
Yeah, I was with Larkin. Well, one, I want to say this mat, for whatever reason, every Fargo always has like the most insane atmosphere. I don't know if it's just like where it is next to the stage, but there's always like a crowd around it. There's always some great semis on that mat. So that mat is certainly blessed by the Fargo gods. But with Larkin, or maybe even it's more of a Gibson thing. What was up with the weight change late? Because he seems like a 120 pounder.
He was registered at 120. He was on his Instagram story on the drive to Fargo. People are asking him, "What's your weight?" and he was saying 120. So I don't know. Mason has wrestled a weight maybe above the weight he could make for a long time, and that might just be like his personal decision. But with this particular event, he was certainly planning on wrestling 120 until very late, until days, if not the day before. So I don't know exactly what happened, but it'd be good to talk to him about it.
It seems like Arizona, you mentioned, is really performing well, but is some of it the fact that it seems like a few of them have a team haircut. Larkin looks like the long lost BG brother.
They're first team all flow.
Yeah, Barry Gibbs. Yeah, he does. He's Tyler Larkin Gibbs. That's what he is. Both his brothers actually, or those two Larkin brothers, both had really nice hair.
Eric Gibson avenged Mason.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see, what round was that for Eric? Eric Gibson was. I'm gonna look up the result right now. What you guys? Yeah,
I think that was the quarters he beat Larkin, or round of 16.
Yeah, it was in the quarters. So Eric Gibson had an 11-9 win over Caleb Larkin. Caleb Larkin committed to Arizona State. But so yeah, you gotta do that for the family. You gotta do it for the family.
That's right.
Yeah, that's Vin Diesel would love that. It's all about family. Okay.
I think he said something about it. Maybe.
It's
social
been
media.
discussed. It's definitely been discussed. Okay, what are you guys looking forward to most today for Fargo?
You got junior finals, baby.
Junior finals, yeah. I mean,
Best junior final in your estimation.
ooh, let me look real quick because I'm pulling them up. So I think
Ratchy Williams.
I think, yeah, that's going to be like, a rubber match. Those guys have gone back and forth.
And Williams got the better of Ratchet at junior duels. He won by 1 point, I believe. So it should be a good match. Jordan Williams, though, has looked lights out. He always does inside the Fargo Dome. He's going for his 3rd straight Fargo title. Almost teched his way to the finals, which is outstanding in this deep 145-pound bracket.
I'm wondering what he's thinking about his recruitment now. Where's he looking to go?
He put out a list, and Oklahoma State was not on it.
Yes, yeah, they were.
I thought he put out a different list on social media, and he had taken them off. Yeah, but he's still. I don't know. He's still pretty wide open. I think. He's. We've seen over the last year like variations of Jordan Williams and how locked in he is. He seems pretty locked in this weekend, and so I don't know. I imagine he's thinking about recruitment, but maybe felt like he put the cart before the horse when he committed to Oklahoma State last year. So I think he's taking his time a little bit.
Any upset specials here?
I think. What's that?
That we're are you asking if we're calling out some upsets in the finals?
Yeah. Because there's some mismatches in the rankings. You got an unranked Lily from Washington against Webster. There's quite a few on here.
I think Webster, is probably the favorite in that one. Ben Aranda is a guy who has really come on in the last several months. He's a graduating senior at 113. He's going to Cleveland State, but he popped into the rankings after one of the regionals. I can't remember which one. And since then, he has just continued to put together ranked wins. And he had a really nice path here. And he's got Braden Davis in the finals. Braden Davis has looked very solid as well. JD predicted him to. Did you pick him to win?
Yep.
JD picked him to win, but I think there could be upset potential there with Aranda. He's just coming on at the right time, and it's one of those graduating senior who's stuck around for Fargo. We've seen a lot of those guys do that, and he's he could do it. I think that's one guy I could see pulling it off.
Very good, very good. Well, a lot of what's the team race looking like for juniors? I know Pennsylvania won cadets or 16U, I guess we're calling it now. Cadets are no more.
The Illinois Army is back.
They're back. The Illini.
That's
right. Illinois got 11 All-Americans, 4 in the finals. PA's got 10 All-Americans, but nobody in the finals. Pennsylvania's in second. Wisconsin has one of the finals, and then they have 9 other All-Americans. They are only 5 points behind Pennsylvania. They definitely have a chance to pass PA for second place. Iowa with 91 points. They're only a couple behind Wisconsin. They've got 7 All-Americans, but 4 in the finals. So second place, I mean, theoretically, first place is still up for grabs if Illinois loses out and one of the teams passes them. But right now, Illinois looking like they're very much in charge. But after that, for second, it's a few teams that are in the mix.
When you look at Indiana in 6, they were up in the 2-3 range for almost the entire day yesterday, something that really surprised me. I did not expect.
Yeah. Hey, we got a mid-show anthem going on here.
Oh. Well, what do I do in this? Do I stall for the anthem?
You stall.
All right, I'm stalling. All right, I gotta stall. Our boys are showing respect for the flag. I guess technically I don't have to because I'm not in venue right now. So what the team race I'm most excited about right now is the Cadet Worlds one, where Team USA is in first narrowly, with India nipping at our heels, and Russia, of course, always lying in wait. Yesterday, I think we were 3 for 3 against Russia in the in competition. There were a few really crazy matches. Meyer Shapiro, which it's Shapiro, I have learned, not Shapiro. So we will. It's one of those names. It's like Hidley. We had to learn, and now we learn. Now we say Hidley, except for Ben. He does his best. Shapiro, not Shapiro. So we're gonna try to get that right throughout his career. But he had a crazy one, a amazing come from behind win. Or I guess he had to hold off a late takedown against Russia, where it looked like he kind of had the Russian had both his legs, but he maintained a power half here. That's Rowley's match. We could watch that. 'Cause who doesn't want to see a Russian lose? But Rowley's looked really good all tournament long. So yeah, excited to see. I mean, for me, I go back and forth on the 4-minute matches. Like, on the one hand, I think they should be 6 minutes, because obviously these guys can wrestle for 6 minutes. But the 4 minutes, the action that gets condensed in there is so exciting, and the margins are so narrow. I kind of like the 4-minute matches for that reason. So they're kind of growing on me, where I used to truly lament that we had 4-minute matches. Our Anthem boys are back. I'm talking about the 4-minute matches at Cadet Worlds, but I'm telling you, the U.S. Americans pack a lot of wrestling in 4 minutes. They make, I wouldn't say it's pace. I don't think they're gassing guys out, but they put a lot of pressure on their opponents, and they force them into bad shots. They force them out of position, and they've been able to capitalize consistently. That's what I've noticed. I think the team looks super prepared. They're wrestling with great heart. They look very, very optimized for this moment. And I hope you guys get to go back and watch what you haven't got to watch yet. All the matches are archived on Flow, so make sure you check them out, because the boys are wrestling great.
Oh,
The
for
worst
sure.
part of the 4-minute matches, in my opinion, is somebody has to go on the shot clock halfway through the first period if there's no score. And it's not rare where you will see, especially at the upper weights, a decent amount of action in minute 1, but no score. But somebody has to go on the shot clock. It's not the worst thing in the world, and it very rarely is a match decider, but it is really unfortunate when 60 seconds in somebody has to go on the shot clock.
You know what I would like as an amendment to that, because there's so many stoppages because of the warnings and whatnot. What would make it better is if you could just verbally warn throughout the whole time without stopping. Just be like, red warning, right? And then just that's the warning, and then blue warning, and that's the warning. But they don't stop wrestling, and then red on the clock, and just boom, start it right there instead of having the stoppages. Because I
have to alert the guy.
No, you tell them, and you got to pay attention. I mean, that's not uncommon to be verbally alerted to something in the midst of wrestling competition. It's better than a stoppage at 30, and then a stoppage at 45, and then a stoppage. That's 3 stoppages within 30 seconds. Instead, if you make it all verbal and someone goes on the clock, at least there's more of a flow of wrestling. It's not disrupted. There's trade-offs with that, but I think it would be an improvement.
Hey, changing the subject for a second. Did you hear about UWW had its first tag team match at Cadet Worlds? Did you hear about this?
What the heck happened? You tell them what happened.
So at 65 kilos, there's a match between Iran and I can't remember the other country. But match gets going. Guy from Iran is winning 2-1 at the end of the first period. And all of a sudden the coach from Iran is like, wait. He's like, wait, is this 55 kilos? Is this 55 kilos? And the ref's like, no, it's just 65 kilos. Iran accidentally sent their 55 kilo wrestler out for a 65 kilo match. The guy's winning 2-1. So they decide, well, this guy, he's not in this bracket. He can't wrestle the rest of this match. So they pull him off the mat. They restart the match with the 65 kilo guy. So this 65 kilo guy, he's playing it smart. He sent his teammate out there to get the guy tenderized for a couple minutes. And then he gets the win. He's
what a
wrestling
genius.
for bronze later. Yeah, he's wrestling for bronze today.
That is, We've seen a lot of things. That is, I'm on the one hand, I'm glad that they didn't punish the Iranian 65 kilogram that didn't take the match, because obviously it's a coaching blunder. Although the names are on the scoreboard, do they have the same name? I'm not quite sure how this happens.
Well, and Spey was saying, Spey was saying he's like whether the name or language barrier is a problem. Like, they have numbers in every country. Like, the number should be a clue.
Numbers are universal.
Yes.
Math is a universal language, I'm told. But I feel for their opponent, who had to wrestle basically a match and a half against an Iranian. But I'm guessing if you can't beat two Iranians. I'm guessing if you can't beat the 55 kilogram Iranian, it's unlikely you're gonna be able to beat the 65. But who really knows?
Yeah, it's good. That's a good point.
That's an all-timer, though. That is an absolute all-timer. So we can bounce around, of course. It's our show, our rules. But some non-Fargo, non-Cadet Worlds related stuff. Yusuf Hamida headed from Ann Arbor to the Spartan Combat RTC, where Mike Gray just will not stop bringing people to Ithaca. He's just not going to stop. He refuses to. Don't even try to stop him. Not even if there's a fire. He will not stop. And there you see Yusuf Hamida, who was once slammed into a wall by Don Bradley 500 times. We've shown it on FRL.
Yes.
But, I mean, you want to talk about, it's a great partner for Gwiz. It'll be a great partner for the heavyweights, the upper weights at Cornell. Just an overall great signing. And I don't know if Mike Gray's done. I don't think he's insatiable, Mike Gray. He cannot stop bringing good wrestlers to his team, and I don't think he's going to stop anytime soon.
Here's the other thing about Yusuf Hamida. He is probably moving forward a basic lock for an Egyptian world team and Olympic team every year. Like, you've got an automatic presence at world championships with a guy like that. He's super good in the room. He's going to add a lot of value, but it's also like your program is going to have that international profile like Cliff Keen has done so well for so many years. And like it or not, it's getting their name out there. It's putting their athletes in front of people on one of the biggest stages in wrestling. And now that's it's not like the reason to bring in a guy like Yusuf Hamida, but it's definitely a nice byproduct.
Yeah, no doubt. And with Yusuf representing Egypt and the continent he's going to get to qualify out of, he looks like someone that's going to be in the Olympics in 3 years, right? Like, that's going to be tough to deny, because how does it's Africa and Oceania are combined for a qualifier. I mean, it's going to be tough to someone as quality as Yusuf. You got to figure he's going to be making the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, he is Egypt's best option this year, but they had another guy who qualified the weight, so they're sending him. But
I think it was too close to the transfer to possibly.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, there's a period in between. I forget the exact amount of time that you have to allow for a transfer.
Gotcha.
My goodness, he wrestled at senior nationals within the year. I mean, he's been wrestling in American events. It would have been a really quick transfer.
Yeah, we have video evidence of that.
Yes, we do. So that's big news. Also, we will. We have no reservations about plugging people's sponsorships and clothing lines. Spencer Lee's is out. Ironside. Oh shoot. I need to know. Is it Ironside Apparel? Is that what it's called? I know it's Mark Ironside's clothing company. They signed Spencer. You can get your excuses or for Wuss's shirts. You can order the whole thing. They have some kid sizes, so I'm maybe going to surprise Caleb with something at some point. So yeah, make sure you check that out. We mentioned we're going to try to keep everyone posted on the name, image, and likeness news, and that's big news and one of the biggest names in wrestling. Now going to be able to make a little bit of money off his name. So good for Spencer.
Heck yeah.
Very good.
Hey, another Fargo guy I was just thinking about. Have you been following Christian Carroll at all?
Well, I'm super familiar with him, but no, not as far as Fargo. I just know he's in the finals.
He bumped up to 220, and he is Hulk smashing everybody.
Well, he's Hulk smashing everybody, but he's also had a really tough path, at least in the quarters and semis. He had Noah Pettigrew in the semis. Pettigrew, yeah. Pettigrew's, I think, fourth at 220. He 10-0'd pedigree, but the more impressive result to me was his quarterfinal against Bennett Tabor. This is a matchup between two Super 32 champs in the quarterfinals at Fargo. Tabor went up 8-0 in that match, and
Wow.
it looked like it was Tabor's to win. Christian Carroll comes back for a 15-10 win, and I mean, this dude is like a serious problem for the upper weights. He's going to be at 220 for the year moving forward, and then he says, I mean, he's just going to be a junior, but he says in college he's hoping in a couple years, 97 for a year, heavyweight after that, but like he just looks
My man is
incredible.
about to be a Fargo champ and a Super 32 champ without wrestling a high school match.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, and has he given any indication what his interests are collegiately?
Committed.
He's committed to Illinois.
Verbally.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, him and Cannon Webster. They have two Fargo finalists committed.
Now, that's
You
not
got to
official,
figure
as they
it's
are
not
all
over
these
with Carroll.
sophomores.
Illinois is going to have to continue to recruit him. You know, someone that young, that good, he's going to garner a lot of attention. I'm sure Coach Poet and company definitely know that.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot about when he verbal to Illinois. That's huge. Okay. Anything else before we let you guys go? I did not copy. I forgot to put any questions in here. Let me scan really quickly before we let you guys go. I know Fargo is happening right now.
Anthony Knox really impressed me. Not that he wasn't a guy that was predicted to whatever, but very impressive. He will definitely be a problem for the next 4 years in high school. He's going to be a pound-for-pound guy, I think, eventually when he gets out of high school.
Yeah, and I mean he's been on some big stages already throughout his junior high career. You know, he wrestled on the card with Jordan Burroughs and David Taylor. I know that he got a lot of attention after that because he won on a big stage, looked really good, and I think that there was an adjustment period for him with like not only how do I wrestle against really good guys, but now how do I deal with like all this not pressure, but like, you know, all this attention, all the time that it takes to, you know, for people to reach out on social media and all these kinds of things. And he's made those adjustments, and on a really big stage here in Fargo, he got it done, and he got it done down 6-0, you know, 6-0, and then came back for a dominant technical superiority win. I agree with you, JD. He's going to be a guy we're talking about for a lot of years.
It's safe to say New Jersey is back, is it not?
They had a good cadet performance. I think they're in 8th or 9th in juniors. But no, they definitely had a good three cadet champs.
Three cadet champs.
DeLuca is a guy, I will admit, not on my radar whatsoever coming into this. He won 113 pounds, dominated the competition, outscored him 62-2 or something like that. He'll be a freshman next year at Blair. Really impressed me, and a guy that is now on my radar.
Yeah, DeLuca is one of those guys that, you know, he'll pop up at high school tournaments throughout his junior high career and beat ranked guys. He's a guy that's been on the level for a while, but just, you know, you don't often think about junior high guys that much. But yeah, Blair got a good one in DeLuca. He's gonna be a solid staple for them.
Very good.
Of the Fargo finals.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
No, you go.
So the bracket I was really excited about at juniors, 182, super deep, and the final there is going to be TJ Stewart and Brian Soldano. Those guys both have gone through, really meat grinders to get this far, and I'm excited for that match. It's a clash of styles. Soldano won the last time these guys wrestled. Soldano is like the craziest guy to watch. His first match, you know, we're out here and we're like
give up to get four type of guy.
Like his first match, these early matches we're out here getting clips, put them on social media or whatever. So Brian Soldano was called to the big stage. We go watch him. He locks up double overs. He like throws himself to his back. He gets held there for a second. It was like, is he gonna get pinned? He like bridges off his back, keeps the double overs, and comes all the way back up to his feet with the double overs, and then trips for a 4-point throw. Like, that's just the kind of guy you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of chest wraps. You're going to see a lot of craziness. TJ Stewart, more fundamental, super quick leg attacks. So it's going to be a clash of styles. That's a match in the finals that I'm really excited about. And
absolutely,
definitely who's number one implications in that one too.
All right, give us some times. What time are our junior finals so everyone can set their alarms and take their lunch breaks strategically if they're working?
Yes, so we have junior women's all morning, and then the junior men's freestyle session with finals medal matches is scheduled to start at 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 Central. The way the schedule has been working is usually that start time is some
like 2:30.
Yeah, some awards, some parade of champions matches are probably going to start about
Is JD
30
going to
minutes
get a
after that.
Lifetime Achievement Award? Or is that supposed to be a surprise? Is that supposed to be a surprise? I hope I didn't spoil that. All right, never mind. Forget I said it. Oh, where's David going?
I have no idea.
What is he doing?
Oh, yes, the USA Wrestling Pinnacle.
Not sure what is happening right now. David got up rapidly.
I would like to present JD Raider with this Lifetime Achievement Award that somebody left on the stage yesterday.
Wow.
This is heavy.
It's pretty
That's heavy duty. That's a
This
paperweight.
looks, yeah.
Thank you, David. It means a lot.
This is something that you're going to see in as a murder weapon in like a CSI.
Murder
CSI
She
Fargo.
Wrote. That's a classic Murder She Wrote weapon.
Yes, and it could have been an accident. Yeah,
Funny
stabbing. I would just go probably blunt force, but you got options.
That's a good thing about those awards. They give you options. All right, let's
Yes.
get the heck out of here. You guys got some work to do. We got so much wrestling going on.
Semifinals here shortly in just like 2 hours.
Don't miss it. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. These boys will be back tomorrow. Sorry for the late start, but better late than never, as we always say. Thanks so much for listening. We will see you next time. Goodbye.